By the way, guys, this is the FA Podcast, episode 12. We're coming at you live on this lovely Friday evening. I feel like crap. I look like crap. I'm sitting in crap, maybe, if you heard... Oh, actually, no one heard that intro. So why did I say that live? So,
well,
yeah.
That's on you, not on me. I didn't start that.
And
Exactly.
I'm having a great time. I'm just really glad that I'm not on camera, because I actually did a lot of, like, sweaty work today, and I feel like shit. I was in the shower before. I'm like, no, I'm gonna shower after, because when I do any show, I don't know why I did this now, because I didn't need to, but I have the lights on, I turn everything off and close well, I do have to close everything up because of the outside noise, and it gets really hot in here, and I'm like, I'm gonna shower afterwards in case it gets like sweaty, but actually I don't think it will, because it's kind of cool today. It's not like fucking 90 degrees like it's been the past few weeks. But yeah, I'm Manuel, the internet's favorite cryptid / magazine thief, and no one heard that story either, so you have to just wonder. You have to wonder why Manuel's a magazine thief. Okay,
Yep.
Go ahead. And joining me as always, it's the D-O-double-G. It's I don't know why I called you the D.
What? Why? Why would you go there? Why would
A
you?
to the C to the S. It's the kitchen, the cat, and the soup.
So if you can carbon date Manuel today, then good for you. You understand how old this man is.
I know.
But yes, hi, it's Jeeves, it's Jordan. I'm here. I'm your artist for the evening. And if you guys have a recommendation or what you want me to draw, go ahead. I'm just drawing this face right now for practicing purposes later on. So
Looked like she you flipped her, and it looked like she was like shaking her head. I'm like, what the hell? It tripped me out for a minute. And joining us tonight, it's the damn it! I couldn't think of the funny thing to say. It's
good
Weston.
job. Good job.
Sorry, my brain is like farting like crazy.
Really
Is that
full
it?
of the good stuff today on Manuel.
Yeah, it's one of those days, guys. Nobody say some off the cuff. I can't even talk. Say some off the cuff
right?
shit. Hey, Wes, go to yourself. Sorry.
Hey, my name is Mr. West, aka DarkWest, aka West Assassin, aka Mr. Fear and Loathing in Mushroom Kingdom, aka Mr. Lube in the Tubes, aka Mr. Dr. Ruth, grandson of the Lube Queen, who tells you to, if you're gonna have sex, lube up kids and protect yourself.
Yeah, we
What
had
an
fun
intro.
one night. It's episode 12. It's the Dirty Dozen.
I can't wait for the Baker's Dozen.
I know. It's like isn't that one? I'm not gonna say that. What I was gonna say. You know what I was gonna say.
Isn't a Baker's dozen like 10?
It's 13.
13.
Yes.
Yeah. I think the idea is like realistically to anything you do, it's like you make one or two extra ones in case one of them fucks up. It's like the first pancake, which apparently only I experienced, even though I know that's kind of a meme to say about like the first pancake always sucks. But apparently nobody else makes bad first pancakes but me and like boomers.
You ain't Aunt Jemima.
I actually don't like Aunt Jemima. Betty Crocker is my favorite, whoever the fuck she is.
Ooh, those are fighting words.
Okay. What are we doing?
I don't know. You tell me.
You tell me.
Pancake titties. Oh, pancake titties are great. Not gonna. There was a running joke, but I don't know how we'd ever be able to do it about ranking titties. First of all titties are great. So that idea, that was gonna be the punchline. By the way, so I'm killing the punchline that we're never gonna do. So I don't know how we do it. The whole idea is that we just go on about like how much we love titties and everything would be like S tier. But
Yeah.
if I had to break down the S tier, I think pancake titties would be up there. Like some people, I think some people use that as like a. Who just joined? I think some people use that as a derogatory term. I think, but I've always like they're fucking great.
Someone just joined.
Everybody. Who just joined?
What's up, though, dog?
It's Warren G in the house.
Dog.
Pancake
Dogs.
titties.
Hey, dude.
Mr. Pancake titties, what's up?
No, they call them milk titties.
I'm just here to say what's up.
Oh, is that what it is?
You little shit.
I mean, I would stay, but then I want to do other stuff. So
That's fair.
Get out
I'll
of here.
see you. I'll see you guys. What's up, y'all?
See you.
Oh no, we
Warren.
dropped. We oh shit, we dropped followers because I jumped in. Ooh, I'm leaving. Bye.
Bye.
We dropped viewers. Deuces.
Pearl Milking Company now. Pearl Milling. What is that? PMC? Is that like PMRC, like the Parent Media Research Group? Anyways, it's episode 13. I'll announce something up right off the bat because I'm going to forget otherwise. First of all, watching YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. I never sit at the top of the show. Thank you. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. The FA podcast will be dark for a few weeks because my man Jordan is a little busy for a while.
Yep.
A while.
Most of September, so we'll be back in time for Halloween.
Ooh, Halloween titties! Can't wait.
Exactly. The bad part is that we're gonna be gone. The good part is since we're bi-weekly, it only means like 2 shows technically. So yeah, and then also we'll be back for Halloween, and like we can talk about. There's actually a lot of Halloween topics I can think of that are like ecchi-ish related. I remember this is random, but like it kind of came to me when I was just saying that right now. I remember there was this point in my life when I was like, I used to love horror movies, and like it really was a younger thing. I grew out of it, even though I still kind of like horror movies now, but I used to really love horror movies. Wanted to make horror movies. That was like, all sorts of bullshit. But I also had like I also like porn. So I remember like being mad obsessed, and it exists to a degree. But I used to be mad obsessed with looking for like horror porn, which I thought didn't exist, and I'm like, we should make that to me and my friends, and like turns out it very much does exist, but it's not what I thought it was. So nobody go looking for that. But along the way, I found this movie called what was it called? Strip of the Dead? Hold on.
Ew.
Hold on.
Like drip as in like your clothing line. Oh.
Hold on. I think it's an Edward Jr. movie, which is the funny part. Hold on. Wait, is Edward Jr. not a person? Or is that Ed Wood? Hold on. I'm just gonna look at his filmography real fast and see if what's it called? Okay, I'm not gonna remember the name, but it's basically this movie where like I forgot what it was called, but it's called something like Stripping of the Dead or whatever. But it's like from the 60s, and it's very. I didn't know at the time when I rented it. But it's very notorious for being one of the worst movies of all time.
Really?
And yeah, and I rented it. Me and my friend, I'll never forget this because he was one of the people like I was talking about doing movies with and shit like that. And he's like, "Oh my god!" When we ran to this video store, it's like we found it. We found the movie, and we were kind of worried that it was so old. It's like, no, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And we take it home, and it's basically. It's a very 50s looking couple where it's like this like buffy guy, like buff as I mean like very football player guy, and like I think this was supposed to be teenagers even like 30, and it's like this football player guy and his girl with like her bob haircut and whatever, pencil skirt and everything, and they get kidnapped by like a vampire and like a Dracula and a Dracula nest or whatever, like a male and female vampire, and they have to watch as they bring all these undead people to go strip for them. And basically it's like the worst kind of like stripping, like like dancing, like exotic dancing or whatever, for like an hour and a half. But it's boring, it's stupid, and it just goes on forever. And they get like a mummy, quote unquote. It's just a girl with like a few bandages around her.
Oh, interesting.
Get like yeah, and it's like, oh, and here's another Dracula, and it's just some girl with teeth, and she's just like, and it's just topless dancing. Fuck, what's that movie called?
Orgy of the Dead?
Yes! It's called Orgy of the Dead.
Yeah, screenplay by Ed D. Wood Jr.
Yes, okay, see? So yeah, and it's known as one of the worst movies of all time. And it's funny because we didn't even know it then. But like as years went on, I was reading like a book about like grindhouse movies and shit like that. And I was like, and they mentioned it in there, how it's like terrible, one of the worst movies ever. It was a blight on his filmography, and I'm like, oh shit, it's that movie we thought would be like meeting our needs of a porn horror movie. So nobody watched that.
I don't know. I'm seeing Amazon. It has a 4.5-star rating, and I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up. I look at the description, I'm looking up the star rating. It's a 4.5-star, and I'm looking up the comments. They're giving it like it's stupid, but it's like it's a must see.
Maybe it's like
oh my god, it's
a Rotten Tomatoes. Maybe it's like a Rotten Tomatoes kind of like rating, You
could buy this on Blu-ray. Yeah, like see, from the mind of Ed Wood comes Orgy of the Dead. Horror novelist John and his girlfriend Shirley are taking a night drive. See, like in search of an eerie graveyard that will hopefully inspire John to come up with a story, but instead stumble into the wild rituals conducted by the Dark Master and his faithful servant. taken prisoner. They're forced to watch the shocking rites unfold as they await their fate. Literally, they just come out, and it's like very like 60s. Like imagine strippers in the 60s. It's very much like that. Like kind of like it's not okay. It's not burlesque as you think it's today, because today's burlesque is cool. It's actual old school burlesque that was like and it's old school burlesque for film. Like I'm sure they were trying to like meet some sort of like not being too obscene. So it's very like. It's very low key and it's very boring. It just goes on forever. That's the movie. There's no plot. That's the movie. Like I'm not
even better.
Anything out. It's just titties, which I guess we can't go wrong with now that I said it out loud. Like, because like they can't go nude. Well, they should. And there's no orgy. By the way, there's no orgy. That's a complete fucking lie. Like at no point does like more than one girl come out at the same time. No, at no point are there more than 2 titties visible at one time. So yeah, that's all a lie.
I don't know what I'm drawing.
Yeah, what are we drawing? Draw. See, that's the good girl, and draw her like with a dancing vampire, a dancing werewolf, and a dancing whatever the fuck.
Everyone's dancing.
Everyone's dancing, and obviously only we show titties, but everyone's dancing.
We're doing that. Are we doing the furry podcast again?
Yes. Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. That is what that is, isn't it? So yeah, everyone's dancing. All the creatures of the woods. The woods. What kind of woods are
like woodland creatures? What is this? Snow White now?
I know. The fucking bird. Anyways.
That bird.
Oh man, but anyways, yeah, we're actually gonna talk more about OnlyFans. I got a mad sidetrack about the Halloween shit, but yeah, we're gonna be off for a while. Which is fine. All the other shows will still be back, and also I guess that means there won't be much to compete with the Wednesday stream. So we'll just we'll hopefully have those all through September to keep everyone satiated. And there's still Drink Talk Roll on the other Friday. So yeah, that's that. We'll come back with something really cool for Halloween, and it'll be in our Halloween thingies where we like to have a lot of guests. So I'll ask the people to come on. Maybe like Ren. I always ask Ren to come on things, and her face is busted up right now, so maybe she'll have time to
soon.
Get well soon, Ren. I really want to ask her what happened. What the fuck happened? Did she like fall?
I don't know if we're supposed to be talking about this. It seems kind of personal. I don't know.
She posted on her OnlyFans, so it's related.
Okay.
It's
not like we're saying anything bad about it. We're like, oh, yeah. What did her stupid ass do now?
I'm just saying.
We're concerned. We're concerned. We're like, what the heck happened?
Okay,
like,
And I didn't even know. She posted it yesterday on her OnlyFans, and I don't think she's posted it on other social media, which is kind of odd when you think about it. And because I tried to troll through her media, she's like retweeting shit, but she's not like, my face is busted open, had to get like sutures done or sutures.
Yeah, suture. Yeah, you're right.
Sutures done, and I'm like, are you gonna have like a cool ass scar now? You'd be like fucking Harry Potter. Like, the girl who lived falling crazy. But yeah. Anyway,
good background story. Dude, now I can say she got some bad scars there, dude.
No, like when I was young, I have a scar on my forehead, which has been healing. Which not been healing, but it's like it's grown
healing.
It's grown less and less apparent. That's the better way to phrase it. Because a scar doesn't heal, but it grows less and less apparent as I get older. But I have a scar on my forehead from when like somebody backhanded me during a fight with like a spiked bracelet, which was a thing kids wore in the 90s, by the way.
It was.
And I got backhanded with one, and it scraped my forehead, and I was like, ow. It actually scraped me in multiple places, but only one of them like scarred, and it basically took like a little chunk of my skull off. I don't know how to describe this, and like there would be like this dip in my forehead. Like it's not. I'm describing it way more graphic than it really was, but there was this dip in my forehead you would always see. I'm like, oh my god, what the hell? That's a scar. And then like now it's hard to find it. I'm like,
It probably just like went away after all these years.
But yeah, it was there for a long ass time, and I was like, oh shit. And I used to make up all these stories about how I got it, and then like one day I realized, like in my mid-20s, I'm like, why am I making up stories? The real story's kind of cool anyway.
Yeah, you got slapped by a guy with a spiked bracelet. How often do you say that? Are you making up stories?
Exactly. I'm like, that's a story people make up for something. I walked into a door, like that's what really happened, but they make up the story that really happened to me.
Yeah. Jeez.
I don't know. I'm stupid. Anyways, guys, let's talk about fapping off to fap. What's every? But no. Big topic of the week is that OnlyFans is okay. I want to make the memes. I was going the way of Tumblr, but it's actually a lot more complicated than that. Basically, OnlyFans starting in October, starting by when we come back. By the way, they're no longer going to allow explicit content on their website.
It's more like sexual content that isn't approved by OnlyFans.
Basically, it's everything above like just nudes. And I think it pretty much like from masturbation on, which to be fair, like maybe I'm on the wrong side of OnlyFans.
You are.
Excuse me. But I don't see that much of that stuff. Most of the people I follow personally are just like doing nudes. Most of them aren't even doing nudes. Most of them are just actually. I don't think I follow anyone who does like, besides the occasional one or two, like, oh, here's a nude. Is like you have to like pay-per-view or whatever the fuck. But I can't think of anyone else. Like, I can't think of anyone I follow who regularly post above just suggested nude and lewds. Maybe once again, maybe I'm just on the wrong side of OnlyFans. But I'm sure I am, because definitely like there's people who do the other more extreme things. But yeah, like basically anything of masturbation above is no longer be allowed, and it's a lot of shit. But it has to do with the payment companies. People are blaming MasterCard, but they're also like people are blaming like PayPal, which is funny because I don't know if anyone when you read an article and they're blaming PayPal, I can tell you one thing: that means they've never used OnlyFans, because OnlyFans I don't think you could ever have paid by PayPal. So. No. So I find that amusing that people are pointing to PayPal. People are like, "What the fuck? Like, we're a horrible company, but we have nothing to do with this," you know. But I think it's because of verification purposes. You always had to like link to a bank account. So I think it's MasterCard. I guess Visa, MasterCard, because they usually act in unison. Are like being prudes and like, yeah, we don't want to be involved with this. And yeah, same thing that happened to Pornhub. What happened to Pornhub is a lot more comparable. I know Pornhub obviously didn't get rid of everything, but Pornhub made everyone get verified, which is a okay move. I'm not gonna like knock them on that, but that got rid of like 90% of their content. It's not an exaggeration, by the way. Overnight, it was for a similar thing. Like the payment companies were all like, okay, you need to abide by what we say, or we're not going to take your payments anymore. And it's so funny because I see a lot of offhand comments immediately about like, this is why Bitcoin's better. And I'm like, hate to break it to you, but places where you could buy like OnlyFans type content with Bitcoin have existed for years. And I don't mean dark web shit. I mean like
legitimate places that accept
they just exist. It's like go get your Bitcoin now then, before it like keeps dropping.
So it's a mix between misinformation, not knowing any information, and people just saying whatever comes to their mind, like because they need something to blame, of course, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's all who like I don't know too much about the controversy. My limited knowledge just happens to be Charlie from Penguin ZD or Moist Critical and one Twitter post, so I can't really say anything about the OnlyFans incident. So do you partake in OnlyFans content? No, I don't.
Really?
I don't. It's not a surprise. Like there's so much like content out there. I don't know why I need to go to an OnlyFans.
Well, that's actually a very funny point. Like people, when I was mentioning this topic in chat the other day, Pleiades, who's like on a bunch of other shit, he was all like, "I don't understand sites like OnlyFans. Like, why pay for that when it's everywhere?" And I'm like, people like you destroy the porn industry. But no, I'm just kidding. Well, partially, but OnlyFans is a little different. And also, this is a whole can of worms here about like content ending up offsite. Because the whole idea is it's exclusive to OnlyFans, and it's the creators that only put out the content there.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've always thought it's weird. Like, it's one thing when like it's a small creator who only use OnlyFans mainly, but it's funny. I always find it odd when like a big name, quote unquote, big name porn star has an OnlyFans also, because that feels like what am I paying for here? You know, it's like you literally have 100 videos on like, you know, on browsers that they're giving away for free on like, you know, Pornhub now because it's old. And it's like, and I'm supposed to give you like, and you could charge more than $10 a month. $10 kind of considered the norm, but you could charge, some of these porn stars charge like 30 or more, like $50 or whatever. I'm like, what am I paying for? What am I giving you all this money for?
So here's my bit on it. Like, I like the sex industry is an actual like legitimate like workforce, and that, you know, because people need that kind of thing, and a lot of people out there don't believe that. It's kind of like that whole thing where like, it's like, oh, why do you want to be a teacher? They don't get paid that well. It's like, you know, they make a mockery of jobs that are necessary to you know, to a better you know, society. And like I said, you know, the sex industry is a legitimate workforce, and you know, like there are a lot of people out there that need that. Me on that one hand, you know, it's like, yeah, I don't want to like consume content that was like stolen, you know, from like multiple places, but I'm not the type that like will go to certain websites and be like, yeah, I'll just throw my money here because, you know, I need it. It's like, no, I know what I don't need to put my money into. I you know, I know where to. Like, I know what I can invest you. I'll support you from the sidelines, is what I'm saying, kind of thing.
It's funny because most of the content, like, I guess it's still content creators. I'm like, why did they use that word though? I've never used that word for OnlyFans. But most of the content creators I follow there are people I know. A lot of them like in the weeby type scene. Like we're talking about Ren earlier, who smashed her face open. Or her head open, I should say. I follow her on OnlyFans, and we've plugged her OnlyFans tons. She's plugged her OnlyFans on like every time she's on as well. Yeah,
oh, that's nice.
Everyone should follow her OnlyFans. It's free, right? It's free these days.
Yeah, you should support her.
Yeah, everyone go there. It's Ren Bunny with. We talked about this because I know you wrote it on the thing. It's Ren Bunny with no e, but what's the I? BUNNI. It's Bunny, but yeah, and there's other people like that I follow, like pretty much a lot of people in Peach Parade have OnlyFans, just to put it like, just to throw it out there. Hina has an OnlyFans, which is funny because Hina made her OnlyFans because she was on a podcast, and I was like, oh, you should make an OnlyFans, and people in the chat heard me say it, and they're like, yeah, you should. So she made one that night. So
that's good. I mean, hopefully it's going well for her. And she didn't just make it as a joke.
I will say this about Hina's OnlyFans. She has some interesting services she offers on her OnlyFans, and I'll just leave it at that. Actually, I don't know why I'm leaving it at that, because like it's there. It's like, I don't think she's like ashamed of it. No one should be, for that matter. But like I think if you go on there right now, and she has a free and a paid OnlyFans, by the way, Hina, that is. Which is a tactic a lot of OnlyFans users do these days. Like, you know, you're free, it's just like samples. It's like, oh, sub to my one if you know, here's the free bits, and like you want to pay, then you get to see the rest. But she does a lot of pay-per-view content also, and some of her pay-per-view content. And I talked about this to someone before. I don't know if it was Nyara or someone before you, because this like struck me as so unusual, and not unusual as in like, the fuck she thinking, but unusual and like, I've never heard of anyone doing this. She sells recordings of like herself in the act, and
audio porn
in the act.
I've never heard of that. Yeah, and I don't mean
never heard of that.
I don't mean masturbation. I mean like, you know, sex. I've never heard of that in my life, and like you would, I mean, like, yeah, I would think I would have, but no, I've never heard of it. I've never heard of anyone selling that. Like, I've heard of that kind of stuff leaking, and it's like, oh, is that? You know, like, you know. But I'm like, who sells that? And I almost want to ask her how it's doing, because I'm like, is that a thing? Well, apparently it's a thing because she's doing it. But I'm like, she's selling an audio recording of her
in the act.
Yes, getting the business done, you know, but not solo. There's another party involved apparently, but yeah, and it's funny because she posted a new thing about like her new pricing for like her what do you call these what do you call it when you do things, customs, her pricing for her custom stuff, and amongst her customs is like the girlfriend experience, where she basically like it's basically a sexting thing, and I'm like, I have heard of that, but it is interesting. I'm like, wow, she's really taking to this. Not a bad thing. I'm just saying.
It's kind of like where you follow where the content is or what people are doing, right? I mean, she might be the only one that you know of that does it, but I wonder how many other people do it.
Yeah,
there's a good handful of them, I want to say.
Yeah, I almost want to Google it, but I don't. On top of that, but yeah, and it's funny because everyone's all like, "Is there video?" And I'm like, I
don't know.
Maybe possibly, depending on if they're only doing audio, it should be a mic. But if they're using a video, there's a possibility, or a camera or whatever, possibility there might be footage. But I doubt that. They're probably using a boom mic or something.
Yeah,
I think
that's the thing. I'll go ahead.
I think like I've talked about this with Ari before, and it was
Wait.
we had a conversation about it where it's like yeah, like just something about like the mystery of like not like you have to visualize it yourself as opposed to seeing everything happen right before you. Like there's some kind of like joy in that, like that essence or that mystery, I guess you could say.
There used to be a documentary a long time ago, and it was like an adult only documentary. It wasn't like just like oh wait, no, it wasn't adult only. It was real sex. I think it was real sex. For those who don't know who real sex is, it's real sex. No, but real sex used to be a show on Showtime, I believe. It was HBO. It was HBO. Yeah, I wonder, is that on HBO Max? But real sex was a show where like some of them were less like pornish than others. Some of them were just really about like sex stuff, but they were usually going. They would go to strip clubs. They would go to like brothels. They would do stuff like that. They would go into like and learn about real sex stuff, like talk to dominatrixes and whatever.
Well, that's pretty cool.
And at one point, they talked to some phone sex workers, which for those who don't know, I don't think it's even a thing anymore. But
that's why it's audio now.
Yeah, and the funny thing about those were, if you would call this number and somebody would be like, of course they're charging like fucking $5 a minute. And that's like a 1990s money too, mind you. But they're charging like $5 a minute, and they're like sexing you, phone sex, I guess is the word. And the funny thing is, in the documentary, the behind the scenes that Real Sex was showing was that some of these girls would be like just like reading a book or like watching TV while they're doing it. And they're literally just like, this is like, they're kind of doing it absentmindedly. They're like, oh yeah, like you're doing that to me, great baby, or whatever. Obviously I'm not gonna try to like actually mimic them, but they're literally just like flipping TV, and they're still talking like this. And it was the weirdest thing to see. And it reminds me of what you said right now, Jordan, about like using your imagination.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
I feel like real sex has ruined my imagination for audio only, in that if I was doing anything to that, I'd be all like, they're watching TV, aren't they?
Probably are.
Well, see, the funny thing about you saying that is like that's basically what a lot of voice actors do when they do recordings.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fact.
But part of me is just like, oh my god, it's like you better be into this too.
It's like, oh, I see. So you're the type that like you need to feel both yourself and your partners.
Yeah, I mean, that's mildly fair, but yeah, I would be so distracted. Like, are you actually like?
It's like,
you just...
is there TV playing in the background?
I know.
Is that a blender going off in the kitchen?
there's this meme that it's like when you're hitting it from behind and something good happens on the Netflix show you're watching, and the dude just like looking away or whatever.
I mean, that's legitimate, you gotta put it on pause. You came from Netflix and chill, you're gonna get that Netflix in. That's just how it is.
You pause Netflix so that shit don't happen.
See, like the only reason why people go on Tinder to Netflix and chill is because they don't have a Netflix subscription. They just go to someone else's house.
I know, it's like I just want to come. I want to watch the final season of Orange Is the New Black.
It's like they get really upset when like it's like, yeah, I guess we can have sex. Yeah, that's fine. Just
watch it the whole time, like angling them just perfectly.
Yeah. It's like so dumb.
Like, put your head down. Put your head down. Yeah, there you go.
I was like, oh, that's a good position, babe. Huh, sure.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible. But yeah. So yeah, I wonder once again. Like, this wasn't what I ever thought until this second. Like, is that recording real now? Is that the audio recording just
No.
like
Well, yeah,
Tina
probably
and a friend? I mean, I'm sure it's real.
I don't even know like how they usually do that. I don't know how they do, phone calls or whatever. I don't know if like it's just a guy in the other line listening and not saying anything, and then the girl or guy or whatever is just saying like all that stuff in the phone. That could be a recording, a pre-recorded message, basically.
I remember one time, I think I don't know if I ever told the story. I went just real fast as a little background. When I was younger, I used to be part of this I mentioned this part in past UPZs, this Christian Boy Scouty type organization called the Royal Rangers, and we did Boy Scouty things and whatever. But we would meet at this church that was like our the place obviously we would do a lot of our like week to week meetings, and just church, but we'd do crafts and learn how to start fires, so we get start fires. Learn how to make a fire. So when we go camping or whatever, we can do it for real. But I remember one time they left a few of us alone in the room, and the dude went to go get like something for our next activity or whatever. And like by random chance, because every group has them. By random chance, like the snitches that people we wouldn't trust weren't there that night or whatever. So we called the phone sex line from the church's phone that was in the room. And we were just like, it was like we were really young, by the way, but it was like a scene from American Pie, but like imagine everyone like 5 years younger, and we're just like all huddled around this phone while and we're like,
so tell us what how did it go down? What would they do? How they say things?
They were responding to us like it wasn't a recording, but it was so funny. I'm like, we were kind of like somebody talked to her, because we were we're all kids, and even now my voice isn't really like the deepest of voices, but we were all kids, and like once again like 12 and under. I think this was a 13 and under group, by the way. And then after that you graduate to another thing, but so there was one kid who had like a deeper voice. We went to puberty before everyone else, and he was like, "Yes, take off your clothes," like that. And he was the one doing the talking. But we had the phone, it's only one phone, no speakerphone back then. One of those old handset thingies. He was like holding it out. We were all just like huddled around it, and then of course, we didn't get that. We were there for a couple minutes. We couldn't get too far because the teacher wasn't, or whatever you call them, the pastor, whatever the fuck, wasn't gone that long. We barely got into the good shit, and it's like, fuck. Probably cost the church like $15-$20 though.
Yeah, it's like they see us like, did someone call this guy? It's like who's on duty?
I don't know. As far as I know, maybe I missed the week when everyone else got in trouble. As far as I know, they never found out.
Okay.
As far as yeah, or maybe they just blamed it on the professor. Once again, I keep calling it different names. They blamed it on the fucking pastor person. It's like, what are you doing? He's like, I have a problem. If I really doesn't, we accidentally tapped into it. But I think I told you that was the place where people were ripping phone books in half. I'm like, what the fuck?
Ripping phone books in half. Wow. What?
Yeah. Through the power of the Lord or whatever. I'm not making that up.
That was what they were saying. That was such an interesting time where people would invite all of these big bodybuilders to do these crazy stuff in church. I'm not just talking about the videos that you would see, or what was his name? Oh fudge. Yeah, there was always these old videos of these big muscly men coming to churches and breaking glass blocks and concrete in half. And it was just I found out that years later they stopped doing that, and it was just yeah, I've started eating healthy and living a farmer's life. I don't even focus on my muscles anymore. I remember the guy watching the video was so upset, I can't believe he gave all that precious stuff up for vegetables. A maniac. Yeah.
I don't know. Jesus doesn't give you vegetables. I just find that on my own. I don't know. Maybe Jesus gives you vegetables. I don't know.
It's yeah, this is what the power of God can do. It makes you buff and breaks concrete blocks in half. Gotta really ask the guy that came up with that idea what he was thinking.
Oh man, I love all.
Yeah.
I love the stories about phone sex and then like watching real sex and all this shit. They're all at the same time. I was really young watching this shit. Where were my parents? That's the great.
Asleep.
I know. I'm sure they were asleep, and I was just like in the living room watching like, Showtime or HBO. With like, and I used to be tricky. I don't know if I mentioned the story. Like, this is actually the way I used to record a lot of my. It's the way I used to watch a lot of my adult content that I record off of whatever channels. I would put in a tape and hit record, but I don't know if like this is a feature for like all TVs, just a cable thing. But you can turn the TV off and it's still recording. Like you just can't watch what it's recording. And I used to do that all the time. I would just put a tape in and just like record. And if like somebody walked in, like, why is the VCR on? What are you doing? Or somebody like noticed that there was a tape that popped out in the middle of the night, like, you know, when I was like asleep or whatever. I'm like, I had deniability. I'm like, oh, I was recording. I wanted to record like, you know, that wrestling program. And I don't know how it got to real sex, you know, for 6 hours. Well, I mean, I come with a better excuse than that, but yeah, I basically had that excuse. It's like I was trying to record something else. I didn't know that was gonna come on next.
And then they delete it, and you're like, damn, didn't even get to it.
Hell, gotta try tomorrow night.
But you think like if they caught you multiple times, they'd be like, wow, he just happens to be recording. You know, when all these scenes start coming up, it's like, maybe we should cancel cable. You know, I imagine they should have just been like that, and then you'd have been screwed out of all that good stuff because of it.
I've mentioned this before, but when I was younger, around the time when we had all those paid channels, because like HBO and, you know, Showtime and everything like that, that was when I had this aunt who used to work at a cable company, and she used to give us all free cable. Like I don't know, like I'm sure it was mad illegal, but she would like, mind you, she didn't give us free cable. Like we all got hooked up like legit, and then when the billing would come around, they would just disappear somehow on her end, you know, because she worked at the company. And before anyone wonders if I'm like, you know, calling her out or whatever, she did get caught and got fired for it. So
Yep, sounds about right.
And surprisingly, like it's funny because like when I used to work at Party City, we had a bunch of employees. Well, we had one major one. We had a couple at other stores that I didn't know personally. But when people were caught stealing at Party City, we called the police and they get arrested. So like looking back on that, I always wondered why she didn't get like arrested, because she stole we must have stole thousands of dollars from this cable company. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean thousands. Like, there's not like embezzlement or fraud or something. It's like I'm
pretty sure she got fined for it, if anything.
Yeah, I don't know, but I didn't. This part probably should be saying, nobody knows my aunt, but I remember like there was a long period of her life where she wasn't working, and apparently because of that she couldn't find another job because she got like fired for like mad theft at like that cable company.
Yeah, because
she was there for years.
It's on her record. I'm pretty sure it was on her record, so makes sense.
That's kind of funny though.
Yeah.
Don't steal. Unless it's porn, then everyone's still porn apparently, because that's what you don't want to do. Go to OnlyFans and support your creators. I don't know. I just circle back to that because we lost.
Yeah. Continue. So the whole incident with it. What are people doing? Is there a place that people can go to when OnlyFans goes down? That kind of stuff.
Well, that's the issue. And this is like my one little part. I don't know if you heard about this, Wesley, but there's this other site called Just for Fans.
Yeah, what's her name recommended? It looks kind of sketchy a little bit. Yeah.
First of all, that site looks sketchy. That site's the kind of site that I would not want to put my credit card info into to begin with.
Yeah.
But the issue is, there's two issues with it. The first is that who are these people? It's like I feel like nobody's just kind of capitalizing on what's happening.
Possibly, yeah.
But that's kind of whatever. The second thing is like nobody's pointed this out yet. There's nobody I've noticed that pointed this out yet. It's in this case, it's not so much that OnlyFans wants to get rid of adult content. Even if you read their statement, they really they did a lot of fuck is that? They pushed the blame away from themselves a lot to the payment processing companies and whatever, because that's technically why they had to do it. And as long as anyone's still working with them and not going to the source of the problem, it's just going to happen again. It's not like Just for Fans is going to have any special treatment. The whole issue is that when they get like a lot of these other adult sites, when they're small, nobody really cares that much. Like MasterCard's not going to go after like, you know, that campsite or like Just for Fans otherwise. But when you get as big as OnlyFans and people like it's synonymous with it and everyone knows the word, like you could pull a rando on the street, even if they don't like it, or even if they've never used it, or if they hate it, they've heard of it. Usually, most people, I think.
Yeah, I heard of it, so I'm good. Yeah, so don't try to like go to like some place all of a sudden, like once things start to like hit the fan, but it's like it's like how you said, Manuel. As far as I know anyway, it's because of the whole payment processing thing, and MasterCard not dealing with the whole situation anymore. And misinformation, all that stuff will lead to a lot of bad things happening, I'm sure, later on in the future.
It's funny because everyone's comparing this to Tumblr, but I'm like, no. First of all, Tumblr, even though a lot of it was porn, to me it was always the way Twitter is, like, it still is today. We're like, there's porn there, but you could have gone on Tumblr and not looked at the porn. Like, that just speaks more to you if you only thought of it as a porn site.
Yeah.
Like, to me, Tumblr was just a bunch of annoying fandoms just always clashing.
Yeah, and it was so toxic too.
Yeah.
I never talked about stuff.
Like, that's the bigger like cancel people from talking about like shipping there, and then you'll destroy the site. But getting rid of the porn was just kind of like, yeah, getting rid of like some people's content, but it's not that I don't think that was like the lion's share of what existed on Tumblr.
If anything,
Tumblr still exists.
It was probably just like a legitimate reason, because maybe something just like went wrong at one point, like with how freely people would post certain things on it. So who knows? Maybe that was it. Did they ever discuss why?
Yeah, apparently. Well, they're not going to say as much like this, but a lot of people were like, "Oh, because they had a lot of trouble with like underage users posting things they shouldn't." Let's leave it at that. And,
Yeah.
And then that's fair, because like I knew people who were like, I had certain friends when that was happening who were like, "Oh yeah, like I understand them doing that. I did that when I was younger." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
No, that was the thing. That's the reason why they did that.
But
And
yeah,
people-
go ahead.
People got upset because they didn't know why they had to do all that.
Reason.
Yeah.
And
So-
similar to the Pornhub verification process, it was because of that too. Well, it was because of a lot of things, a lot of other complicated reasons. But one of the reasons why they forced verification on everyone is because of similar reasons, just to make sure everyone's of age, everyone's legal, everyone's like willing participant in everything that's going on, and all that kind of nonsense. Not nonsense,
Yeah.
but all the kind of thing. I'll call it nonsense.
So wait, I need an account for Pornhub in order to like view certain things, or what's up with that?
No, you only need an account if you want to comment or like make a playlist.
What's
Or
a comment?
well, upload too. But like pretty much like back in the days, like anyone could upload. And people would like, it's actually funny because we used to make this joke like Japan, they still are, but Japan would be very strict on like music videos and like uploads like that. They would like claim a lot of shit, still do. Like one of my favorite some of my favorite Visual K videos got deleted recently, and so people would like upload things to Pornhub. I remember like a lot of times, like when like a group would do a live stream, like an idol group I'd follow would do a live stream. They would like watch YouTube like a hawk and like strike down all the videos that would upload it. But on Pornhub, first of all, like I don't think they even knew to look on Pornhub, like outside of the US. But like even if they did, they probably didn't know the process. It's not really an easy process. It's not Google, it's Pornhub. So like, so yeah, like I remember back in the day, like a lot of people would post links like, oh, I just uploaded like, the Walk You Dead concert, like, from last night, the live stream. Here it is. It's like a Pornhub link.
Yeah.
It was legit. You click on it and it'd be like a concert.
Most things like get like lost in it. It's like when people post like the B movie on there.
Oh my god.
Or like people that like post like Apex Legends stuff on there for some reason. Like I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, they use that a lot, or they use like sites like that because like no one would expect to look there, I suppose, or because there's like a different algorithm that that people have to deal with when searching for all that.
I watched the Joker on Pornhub, I think. Not Joaquin. Is that Joaquin Phoenix? Yeah, I watched the Joaquin Phoenix Joker, the one with the new one. There's only one Joker movie. What am I saying? But yeah, I watched the Joker on. Was it Pornhub or was it another tube site? Doesn't matter. It was on a tube site though.
It was on one of those sites.
Yeah. I watched it on there. I was like, oh, I don't remember why. Like. Don't ask why I was on the site to begin with. But I didn't go there to watch the Joker. I went to the site and I noticed that one of the trending videos for the day, the most viewed video of the day, was the Joker. And I'm like, I clicked on it, but this isn't really Joker. I'm gonna like, it's gonna be like somebody dubbed over it. There's gonna be porn, like wacky ass porn for the next 2 hours. But no, it was just the Joker.
Yeah, no.
So and then I just watched it. I'm like, oh, this will get deleted, and it was there for a long time. I'm like, I actually shared it with some of my friends. I'm like, hey, watch the Joker. It's on this site. And I'm like, how did they not notice the Joker is up?
And the thing is, if like you search certain things up on the site, like say for instance there was like a specific video that you liked, and you knew the content that was in it, you know what it was about, yada yada, but you didn't know the name. And you just put all that stuff in, like you would spend like hours like trying to look for it too. And you wouldn't, and even if you did know the name too, like for majority of the time, like it always like show a different like top result for for those things, and it was so. Well, their searching algorithm is a little odd. I'm not too sure why. It changed too. They're like a lot of the stuff that you could search immediately. Like if you looked up hentai on Pornhub, you wouldn't even get hentai first couple like during like that first page. You will see like actually people like real life people doing it, not even in like a cosplay or whatever. They were just I don't know, like I don't know what has happened. Either people are just putting the hentai tags in their videos just cuz, or whatever.
It's like how I always put the VTuber tag in all of our streams. And people probably
Do you really?
There's the
Do
I'm not
you
gonna
really?
No.
Yeah.
I will say this. I don't do it purposely, but I've noticed I've left it in there because obviously when we do UPZ, it's legit.
Yeah, because of Nyaru and all the other.
Yeah, but usually I don't change the tags, so like pretty much from day to day. Usually on the gaming ones, maybe I'll change it, but if we don't have a gaming one, it'll probably just stay all the way through the week. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if VTuber's on right now. Oh, it's not somehow.
Yeah, it's not. I checked, but you gotta be careful about that. They can get real riled up.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, you can get in trouble. I mean, they don't ban you unless you do it like something crazy, but apparently you can get like in trouble for it somehow. Like Twitch could be like, stop posting, and we stop
don't lie about these things, you know. But also the community. The community is actually like when the VTuber tag came out, the community was like super happy about it, like super big. So if you're using that tag and you're not a VTuber, you'll get a lot of flack for it. I'm pretty sure.
Those are some big titties.
Yeah, I like to draw titties. Can't help it.
With no arms. It's just the hey, I just see what's up.
Listen, you're not the artist. Are you drawing?
No,
how dare you?
Titties.
How dare you commenting? It's like with no arms. It's like
oh, that's the part you make fun. No, I was making fun of the fact. Never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
What were you gonna say? What are you gonna say, Manuel? Huh?
No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
Well, what can we cancel you for today? What can
no one's canceling Manuel today.
Not today. Not yet. Today is Friday.
Yeah.
Wait till tomorrow on DTL. Like I actually did drink. I did take a drink before we started, and I was drinking. I think I was drinking was a drink, and I was drinking earlier just to like calm my nerves a little. Not to calm my nerves, but like just chill a bit. But yeah, wait till I'm actually drunk tomorrow. Then you can like cancel me as something I say. Not today though.
Again.
You can't cancel the CCP. Oh my god. Yes, I'm a representative at CCP. Like me.
I don't know what they're.
Okay, they shut up. Really quote me on that.
You know, like places like Japan don't recognize Twitch as like a legitimate streaming service, I believe.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so like that's why like
because of the streaming service.
Yeah, it's like people like use YouTube or Billy, I think is that a streaming service?
Billy, yeah, it is.
Billy?
Like Live It.
Yeah, there's like a lot of other ones, but like Twitch is very popular here in the States. I don't know about like anywhere else. And we do have like Shibuya Kaho. She's actually streaming right now. Who I believe lives in Japan, right? But she streams on Twitch. So like, I don't know. I don't know what it is that people like or Japan, like in Japan, like Twitch isn't like I guess as popular. But I figure like it would have like a decent amount of following or some legitimacy to streaming services in some sort of way. But
Funny site. I've never met a website, but I've never seen a more user unfriendly but strangely extremely popular site before. Have you?
No,
like
not
nothing
really.
on this site feels like easy, intuitive, like something a non-Twitch user can get into. And I mean
Really?
even a Twitch viewer. No, I don't think so. It's all like the screen looks weird. There's all these like sidebars. First of all, the screen's really cluttered, like for other things besides the stream that's going on, and not in a nice way. Like YouTube kind of has everything like off to the side, but this has things on both sides. I've actually saw people complain about this.
Doesn't YouTube also have the same type of like formatting? I'm pretty sure they do.
YouTube Live is literally the video and the comments on the right, and that's like like here you can still look at everything at the bottom on like the about, which I guess you could leave the site and go to the about page, but it just looks so user unfriendly. I just can't imagine. I find it amazing, and it's so funny. I remember when Amazon bought Twitch like ages ago. This is like recent, but when Amazon bought Twitch, everyone's like, "Oh, they're finally gonna clean up the site." I mean, like clean up the site, like make it look nice.
The UI.
But no, they just left it the same. It's like pretty much the exact same thing.
Right. Well, there must be like a way to like change the like how it looks and all that whatnot. I mean,
Twitch chat feels better though. I don't know. Twitch chat, like once again, like and Twitch. I know if you use Twitch a lot, you might get used to it, but Twitch has a lot of like its own icons and whatever. But like, I don't know, like I just don't. Maybe it's not even the boomer me talk. I think that like honestly, I've heard this is a complaint I heard like years ago. People have stopped really using it and saying it, maybe because Twitch is so popular. People would always go on about how ugly the site is and how it looks like somebody like who came from the early 2000s internet when text was like heavy. Like heavily in use. I mean to say that like they're the ones who designed it. Look how much fucking text there is on this screen that I'm looking on desktop.
I agree.
There's so much text, and it's like, what is this? And even like where the recommended channels are, like why aren't those like little like icons? Why are those more text? I don't know. They're just little things that I feel like are just weird. I know some of them be like, well, you just want everything like YouTube, but. Yeah,
well, because YouTube has a good UI, like you're mentioning.
And YouTube like started the streaming game like late as fuck, and I know it has a bigger user base, but like it started the streaming game late as fuck, and then still overtook Twitch like almost immediately. So, yeah.
Because
anyways, YouTube is still better in some ways. Because I got a YouTube Premium over Twitch Turbo.
Have you noticed?
I did, huh?
Have you noticed that like on YouTube the amount of people that comment and how like in chat. Like how YouTube is able to handle a larger amount of people chatting as opposed to Twitch, I guess.
Yeah.
So if you get 1,000 people on Twitch, that versus 1,000 people on a YouTube stream, like I see the comments like breeze so quickly on YouTube stream, like it doesn't like. Well, I guess Twitch and YouTube, they all have their internet issues and their server issues, that cuts out the stream. So there's no helping that, but I feel like I don't know, maybe it happens on Twitch too, but YouTube seems to be better at handling Twitch or chat commentary more often. One thing I will say though is that I don't know if YouTube has a like a good moderation, like control. Granted, I don't use them, but I don't know how their moderators deal compared to like Twitch.
I'm
Twitch
sure it's worse.
Yeah. You think it's worse on YouTube?
I'm gonna assume that part's worse because Google, because YouTube is, I mean Google. Well, it is Google, but YouTube is just bad and like I think moderation, even on its non-live stuff, it can't be much better on its stream content.
Yeah.
Twitch is still like, it's not a small community, but Twitch is, even though it's like huge and it's Amazon, it's still I think small enough that like people get back to you more easier.
Like it's manageable. It's more manageable for sure.
Twitch is relatively speaking, Twitch is like still I think some of those Asian streaming sites like Livid, I think Livid's even bigger. Billy Billy's definitely bigger, just on the sheer fact of like which countries use it.
That's more China big, right?
Exactly.
Isn't it?
Well, it's all of Asia, and technically, but it's mainly China. But they use like in other parts of like in Asia. I don't know what I was about to say there. I literally was about to. I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna say because someone could clip that and get me like canceled. But
go on.
But yeah, other parts of Asia. I don't know. OnlyFans, as far as I know, is only like do people use Only? No, it's funny. Do people use OnlyFans in Japan? It's a nice question because I follow a couple gravure idols. No porn people, but JAV people. But I follow a few gravure idols, and I'm kind of like, I'm just. First of all, I wonder if it's actually them. I assume it is because they'll post like pictures that are on other social media. But it just feels like a thing. Oh wait, this picture's from an event we did in Taiwan. I'm sorry, I'm reading one of these girls' thing, and it's just like her ass. But I'm sorry, the ass distracted me.
Because OnlyFans isn't really like isn't also just, it's like more like everything, not just like sexual content, right?
Yeah, and I want to. Yeah. Well, that's the issue too, because like I don't know how OnlyFans started, but like obviously they've come out and said that they're not trying to like get rid of the adult content like purposely, but
because that's where they make most of their money, and it hadn't been an issue until more recently, unless
I don't know.
it turned into a Tumblr thing.
Getting canceled, but like I would be upset. Gosh, I'm gonna get canceled by how I say this, but I would still be kind of upset if I made a site that was like a Patreon-esque site. I don't know if OnlyFans did this. I'm just saying if I did this, but if I made a Patreon-esque site where it'd be all like, oh, this is a site where people can like donate to their favorite content creators, and then it ended up becoming that as the years went on, only like only adult content appeared there. I'd be all like, what happened? It's like not so much because I'm like, I don't want this on here. I want to be a straight business. But I'd be all like, can't this be for everyone? I always find that weird. That in a lot of ways it has to be one or the other.
I think one of the reasons why it's so heated right now is because the communication didn't happen between the people that use it. It was like with only the higher ups, the people that manage business and all that.
Exactly.
So it's like, yeah, that's why people were upset, because you didn't talk to them about the issue that was arising, and because you made this decision, it's lo and behold, people are getting upset. People don't know what to do now because their livelihoods depend on this.
But then part of the issue, like even like going back to my scenario there, it's like, at what point am I like, okay, guys, gotta tune it down a little, like.
Oh
like when I started this, I thought it would be like everyone. There'd be a couple artists here too, but I think OnlyFans leaned into it because even their logo looks like a sex logo. It's like the lock. I think it's like pink it's like pink or purple, but it's like the lock and it has like a ribbon on it. I have to look at it again actually to make sure I'm not just describing the wrong logo entirely. OnlyFans logo, sorry. Yeah, okay, it is. So like, by the way, I was describing an older logo, but it's still like the fans part is still like a pastel-y color, and there's a lock in the O inside. Yeah. It still looks kind of like there's a lot of innuendo that can be found there.
Probably because they realize that their fan base has to do more with that kind of content, so they realize might as well appeal to that content. So, and like it,
I'm trying to find the logo that I was describing. What the fuck logo was I describing with a ribbon on it? It's some other porn site I go to, guys. Don't worry, I go to too many porn sites.
It's like I'm open-minded. I can try anything else. Not a savage. Oh.
Anyways, IB pissed too. Sex workers came to make money, and platforms keep picking them off. See, how do I say this?
It's hard to like. It's not so much kicking them. I'm not even too sure how to explain this situation.
Yeah, in a perfect, everything can just coexist peacefully, but like, I don't know. It's complicated. I'm trying to play both sides of the filter, in case you guys can't tell, but
it's. I think it's because there is such a large community that believes that, it isn't, that believes it isn't like actual legitimate work.
GP websites like what's Fanbox? Is Fanbox like?
Oh, I've heard of that.
I've never used that.
It's kind
Well,
I'm not too sure. I can't really say.
I'm not a huge fan of Japanese crowdfunding sites. I know that's not crowdfunding per se, but I don't like Japanese crowdfunding sites. I can only imagine what a subscription-based site would look like. So, I don't know if I try, but sex work is work. I agree. I'm not saying it isn't.
Yeah, it's just the amount of other people out there that don't believe it is that probably makes it a bigger issue.
And I've always been like, how do I say this? Like, there've always been places, there've always been campsites. Honestly, there are places where like your cut is bigger and where nobody's gonna chase you off like by working there. Like the site itself might close down one day, but like no one's gonna be all like, no, we're like, you know, cams for you is gonna become like a site, a gaming streaming. No, it's never gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know if Camps for You is a real site, by the way. I'm sure it is because that's such a simple title. But we're not sponsored. Nobody go to Camps for You unless they pay us. But like you go to a campsite like that, like just I don't know. Like there are other places, and I agree that OnlyFans was very like normie friendly. That was the term I used in the chat, in many chats, because it's hard to like stumble across other content, which you do a lot in campsites, and campsites are very like handhold. Like I also put it like they shake you down. They're like they turn you upside down and they make sure they get every last dime out of you, or they try to.
Hey, sorry. Before you go on, I need to know who has an OnlyFans and who should we be shouting out to?
Oh well, there's Ren Bunny and there's Hinachi, so we'll shout out to them.
How do you? Oh wait, hold on, wait. Support. Hold on. How do you spell their names? Or how do you spell their R-E?
R-E-N-B.
Wait, hold on. Let me pick a different thing. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so R-E
N.
Okay.
B-U-N-N-I.
B-U-N-N-I. Okay. And
Hinachi. H-I-N-A-C-C-H-I.
Cool.
There we go. And yeah, both have free OnlyFans. Ren's main one is only free, and she has like paid content. I think if you go to Hinachi, it'll take you to the paid one. But within the bio, you'll see like follow Hinachi free or whatever the fuck it is, you know, for like the free version. But yeah. Anyway, follow them both. Sex work is work.
Wait, how you spell Hinachi again?
H-I-N-A-C-C-H-I.
There you go.
Oh shit! I already followed her.
I put it up on the thing.
You already follow her?
I think I found her on the Reddit thing. That's why.
What are you looking up?
Looking at Reddit. Duh.
I know, but you're like, what do you look like? Who to follow on OnlyFans? And there's like a Hinachi thread.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually funny. I don't want to like spill a lot of Hinachi tea out there, but she's not really like close with it if you follow her on other social medias. It's not like it's a secret, but I think that's her main form of income. By the way, is her. Well, she streams too on Twitch, and I think she shares audiences on both, which is so funny because when I asked her to be on the podcast UPC for the first time, like literally like 2-3 years ago, not that long ago, but 2 years ago. She hadn't streamed at all. Like that was the first time she'd ever been like live on, you know, the internet. And then she took to it like way better than we did. But yeah.
Yeah, probably
good for her.
Probably good fan base. Yeah, good for her.
So yeah. Anyways, it's good for her.
Hey,
like
Warren.
everyone go support her. Wait, Warren in here again?
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
Warren's in
back.
here again. All right.
We're talking about Hinachi and Ren. And your cuz is in here too. Billie Eyelash. What about Billie Eilish? Anyways, there's actually a whole world of like discussion when it comes to like OnlyFans, like how do I say this? Like the independent creators and then the people who kind of like, that some people say abuse it, like, you know, the celebrity OnlyFans accounts and whatever. But that's a topic outside of this, I think. I feel like we could have a whole OnlyFans show. Like I didn't realize there was so much to mine here, and then all the deviations are great. Like talking about that Japanese.
Yeah.
But yeah, people talking about moving to just for fans, which is like, I'm like, you had the same problems there. A lot of the content creators, like I follow this cosplayer who does a lot of lewd stuff, and she pretty much she shared the screen about it, and she says, I don't know if she is a pretty popular creator. I don't know if she's just in the know, or if maybe they sent out emails before, but she's saying that like they had hinted at it in past emails.
They have,
and then now it's official. Yeah, and now it's official. So she pretty much is like, oh, it's already, like, they've been talking about it. They've been warning us. So it's not. So she's been saying that she says, like, offhandedly, not like she's like critiquing everyone, but she's been offhandedly saying that, like, oh, they've actually been saying this all year to get ready for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So honestly, they've been talking. Like, I know for a fact that well over a year ago, there was like a rumor, like, like one of those things, like, oh, OnlyFans is rumor, and then nothing ever came of it at all. So maybe they were just gauging public interest at the time, because I think that would have been just them. Like, that wasn't a payment issue thing. That was like, hey, maybe we're gonna go straight now, But
yeah, actually, now that I think about it, like that was
a while ago.
Yeah, like I said, like between all of us here, I'm pretty sure none of us really have an OnlyFans account. But if you guys have gotten emails about it from them notifying that, yeah, we're going to be removing this particular thing because of yada yada yada, maybe they explained that in the previous emails. I'm not too sure, like I said, but they might have more information in the previous emails, so that we can understand a little bit more as to why they did it. Because that whole thing dropped yesterday when they said that they were going to delete it on October 1st.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I definitely want to know more about like why it's a thing, like more specifically, maybe on the inside job, on like the MasterCard PayPal thing.
Like I can't read this anymore. I have a copy of the email, but like basically, like, due to the size and rapid growth of the OnlyFans platform, where creators have earned over $5 billion since inception, we must increasingly rely on large banking institutions and payment processors to facilitate payments. And that goes on about, then from there on, it's them pushing the blame to the payment people, which is fair. By the way, did you guys know that OnlyFans has a referral system?
A referral system?
Yeah, like basically, if you get somebody to, like, how do I say this? Like, a lot of sites have this, but like basically, like, hey, if I sign a friend up to OnlyFans, we both get something out of it, and they sign up using my like an Uber thing, or like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, they use my creator code. Did you guys know though that when you sign someone up, that you get a cut of their of all the money they ever make?
Really?
That I heard.
Yeah, it's actually hilarious. It was not hilarious.
Why?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Why?
That's why I always see, like, the new up-and-comers, when they don't really have an audience, they're like, oh, if my friend's doing the OnlyFans, if you recommend her, you get a discount for all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Oh my God.
There's
a section in the OnlyFans where they have a friend list, and if you say, oh, I signed up because such and such told me that if I subscribe for you for a month or whatever, I'll get like initiatives in it, and they get a piece of it as well.
What? So it's basically like not commission. Yeah, commission work basically. Like they treat it like that. What? That's nonsense.
There's kind of a whole dark side of the OnlyFans industry, by the way. It's funny because I don't think a lot of people know this. Actually, I'll say this. I think I've said it before. No secret. I've helped out some other girls with their, like, manage their OnlyFans in the past. Actually, not even just girls, but I've helped some people like manage their OnlyFans in the past. And don't do that anymore, by the way. So in case anyone has any, like, not because I don't want to, but just by chance, I just don't do that anymore. But I did that for a while, And when I was signing up some people, I was like, how am I getting their money? Like, and I did that, and then some people I don't even work with anymore, and I'm still getting their money. I'm like, oh my god, this is shady.
That's super shady. Why is that a thing? Like,
yeah, there are some people like what Wes is just describing. There are some people who basically are like, if you use my code, you'll be in our network. But there's people who there's basically OnlyFans create. There's people who like are making money doing nothing, just signing up people basically and making the web bigger.
Yeah,
like, ridiculous.
Yeah, like
yes,
it's crazy.
I mean, it's not really bad because majority of them are like
OnlyFans.
Yeah, the majority of them are like friends or associates because they've done like some other stuff with other sites or other business with them. Because the ones that I do follow, like I do. Oh, okay, I recognize her because I see her done a project previously with the partner or with the model or with a photographer or somebody they know, and they usually help them out that way. But I think it's very rare where it's like, oh yeah, I'm just using this person so I can make a quick buck. But it's always they know somebody because they're not going to advertise somebody they don't know or they work with.
It's so weird. I hate that. I like, man, like the discount. I guess that would make sense in a way, because like. Well, like you would think like that discount would just be, you know, discounted just because like, oh, like you're getting another follower kind of thing. It's like, okay, that makes sense. So
in theory, Wes is describing is actually a pretty like legit good way to use it, but I've definitely seen it abused. And there's people
it's been abused, but I'm saying from the circle that I usually follow, they're all legit and they usually do business. But I know, but like Jordan said, like it sounds really bad, and there has people take advantage of it, which sucks, by the way.
Yeah, because I was telling a friend of mine, it's like, oh my god, I'm still getting so and so's money. It's like, how strange is that? They're like, yeah, isn't that great? I'm like,
what?
Not really.
Like, what do you say? Like, I don't know what to do. I can't opt. As far as I know, there's no way to opt out of it. And I don't talk to them. It's like I'm not gonna mail them the check and whatever.
So I guess like based on what Wesley is saying is because like you know that money that you technically would get per se as like a follower is kind of like in a way a discount for you on her,
exactly,
or on the person that you're following, and then
because you're using your friends to help to give you free advertisement and free paying subscribers, because in a way you got to advertise either by money or by the word,
right?
And by you doing by the word, you cut out the middleman, and you're literally just doing it for each other.
Okay.
Which to them it might be a win-win. I don't really know because I'm just a payer. I'm not a creator.
I imagine that like it would get to a point where you would recommend so many people that you wouldn't even have to worry about your subscription to that person.
Yes. No. Yeah.
Yep.
No. Yeah. I have honestly from experience, I have usually gotten where it's like, oh, my friend's doing a free month subscription. If you subscribe to her, you'll get all this free content or whatever. But usually the catch is that you're seeing her advertising herself with friends, with associates, with partners and businesses who are also doing the same thing as well. So by continuing doing all the free advertisement, you're giving them the stuff that they want, and then you're getting them to buy stuff as well, because it's like you only got so much that's free, and you gotta and it's a pay-per-view viewing content. So you're willing them. You're like a fish. You're baiting them by a little bit, and then that's when you reel them in for a profit. Like you're still gonna get something. You're not getting ripped off. That's the only good thing I can say on my part. Yeah. People might differ from the point of view, but yeah, it's a business thing. I can see it that way. Yeah.
What's like the percentage that people would get? Like
I have no clue.
Oh, it's a lot. I don't know if I should.
It's a lot. Okay, well don't mention it. I'm just gonna make my own guess. So like, if a subscription is like you say $10 on average, and like someone
not really.
So let's put it like this: if it's $10,
$10 is not really the average nowadays.
Yeah, but if $10 were the average, to make it simple, more than like it's not changed, and it's a couple dollars probably that's going to the person who signs you up. So
yes.
So it would only be like a a little more than 10 recommendations, and you're like, oh, okay, free subscription kind of thing.
And then now exactly like you just said.
And then the way that would keep on going is that like, you know, you get those 10 other people with the free subscriptions. If those 10 people get 10 other people,
exactly, like MLM. It's an MLM OnlyFans. And you get off all their content. Like say Hina selling her, like I don't know if Hina ever got signed up to anyone, but like say Hina like, you know, sold tons of that audio recording she did. They're getting a cut of that too, and that's pay-per-view content. That's extra on top of the subs. So if she sold like 10 of it, someone just got like a payday out of nowhere.
But technically, like they're not necessarily the content creators aren't necessarily losing money, right? Per se, only on the discount of the friend recommendation. But they still get like the $4 or like the $10 kind of thing from
they
that. They
get the percentage of whatever they recommend. But like I said, it depends on who they do business with. Because I could say like, oh, I'm doing business with Manuel, and I'm getting like maybe 0.25% of what I'm sharing of his content.
Right.
And then he might be doing the same thing to me, where he's getting a percentage as well. I do believe as long as they're doing business and everyone's legit, not saying, oh, why are you getting more than me, or I'm losing this because you're getting that. It's cool, but I don't really know. It might differ. Only a content creator will have knowledge of that.
Right, I guess I'm like talking more about like the shady people that do it, not necessarily like the business. You're part of it, because that's the part I'm worried about.
There is both. It's good and the bad. I know it probably does happen. It's probably happening right now while we're talking about it.
Yeah, probably.
There's I would like to think that nobody I know personally is involved in the shady. I'm not saying like they did it purposely, but I mean like I hope they're not. I don't think anyone is, because I'm like I hope you didn't get referred to like a shady person who's just like sitting at home, like who basically is working as an MLM person basically from home, just getting people on OnlyFans.
Because technically it's not illegal either.
Oh, it's not. But a lot of the negativity you see towards people like being coerced to make an OnlyFans, like, you know, a lot of it's BS, but a lot of that does stem from people like who I'm describing. But you have to be in a certain circle to even get approached by someone like that, I think. So
for a friend recommendation, you can't just be like the guy that posts on like Facebook like, hey, look at that OnlyFans recommendation. Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, is that the kind of thing you would put out like, hey, join Uber and here's my code? It's not like, I don't think most people would be like, join OnlyFans, here's my code. Maybe on Twitter, I don't know. But
yeah, I remember there was one, I think there was a streamer that like put out their Uber Eats code. And it's like, hey guys, if you guys use my code, then I get free stuff. Like they just legitimately just said that, like no filter or whatever. It's like, yeah, if you guys use it, you know, helps you out, helps me out, yada yada.
Has it been like that the whole stream? By the way, I can only hear Manuel and Weston on the left side of my headset.
Oh, really?
Are we not in stereo? Have we not been in stereo this whole night?
I think you guys.
I mean, I don't even know how that would work, because
no one has ever mentioned it at all, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, same here.
Let me hear it real fast. Hold on, I have it muted on the thing. Oh, I still can't hear it. Oh, we're not talking. Wait.
You guys you're talking. Well, I mean, you have to talk, and then you can hear yourself.
Exactly. Now it's just really awkward, because now I'm waiting for my. Well, let me reload this. Hold on, guys. Hold on a second, guys. Uno segundo. Dun, 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 dun. Wait, here it goes. It's unmuted.
Properties.
For some reason, I can't hear anything.
Do you have it on the volume, or did you lower it?
I have everything muted. Unmute site. Oh, they're right.
What? If you guys aren't mono. You guys should be stereo. If anything, I'm the only one that's mono. Should I? Well, let me try to switch it to mono. Maybe that'll help.
We're only on one side.
Yeah, let me try mono.
What? That's weird.
And we only know about this now. Oh, okay.
Now we're on both sides.
We shouldn't. Yeah, it was because we were on stereo. We should have been on mono. My bad. That was my bad.
Oops.
Yeah.
Oh well, we're redoing again.
Okay, thank you guys for joining. This is Ultra Podcast 12. We're starting for the beginning. I'm just kidding. We're not starting for the beginning.
Thank you.
Yeah, OnlyFans. Yeah.
Thank you,
why
IQ.
Why is this window like this? Hold on. This tab is like a tiny tab.
What are you talking about?
It's like this. Twitch became this tiny tab. I don't know what happened.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Anyways, I love that we've been like that the whole show. I just see someone who said that. Warren didn't say shit. Warren's not a true homie. Neither is Mr. Otaku. Anything for the CCP. God damn it.
Good times, good times.
Helping out the motherland. Helping out the motherland. I don't know. Everyone's from China apparently.
Everybody in
No,
your
I'm not.
chat apparently is.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to make it sound like OnlyFans is a shady place, but I thought that was interesting to note. No one ever talks about it. It's like this sort of weird, not so much like a dark side, because it's not like it could be anything could be used for bad.
Well,
But,
well, listen, like I'm not like I said, like I don't go to OnFans. I don't consume any content from it. So, like, you know, maybe it's just like the people that
are you one
you
of
gotta
those
ask.
people?
What?
Because like when the whole news dropped, you go to the comment section of any tweet, any report of it, and you would find like the Chads in there, like
What? What are you saying?
my favorite type of comment. There was a friend of mine shared it. It's all like, oh, it's like I feel sorry for all my sex worker friends who are gonna are gonna see a cut in income.
Oh,
or
you're
whatever.
saying I went to social media and just started being like, oh, I can't believe what a tragedy kind of thing.
No, you win and we're an asshole. Because then somebody replied to that comment and they're all like, huh, sucks to suck. Don't forget my fries next time or whatever.
What the?
And,
I fucking hated that. That's all it was yesterday. You fucking
Yeah.
dickhead.
Two things about that, by the way. Tell me how you feel about fast food work as well. The same comment. But
Dude, fast food work, like it just depends on the place, like the place in the world that fast food is delivered in. Freaking Australia, dude, you get like proper education when you work for McDonald's or Macca's as they call it over
I
there.
hate that they call it Macca's. By the way, don't.
Yeah,
Like, that's what,
I
But
forgot
the-
about that.
dude, they
before
call
you
it.
said that. Yeah.
They call it like different things everywhere else except for America. We call it McDonald's. Like we're the only ones without a nickname, so we're the odd ones out, Manuel.
Wait, don't we
Oh,
call them Mickey D's?
No,
We don't call it
fun
Mickey
fact-
D's.
Fun fact: Hina was supposed to be on this one, like the first time this podcast was supposed to happen, and then no joke, she canceled all that shit because she went on like vacation. And I don't want to say where she's getting the money from, but I think you can put two and two together. We've been describing this whole time.
Yeah,
but,
she went on vacation with the family, obviously.
but she literally was like, oh, I can't do those shows. You can do this and UPZ, and then she went on vacation. And then it turned out that it didn't matter, she couldn't do the FAP because that was the week Jordan had to cancel because he got a shot. Sorry, I'm like hiccuping like crazy over here.
Oh yeah, so it all worked out.
Mickey D's.
But to continue, like fast food places like in Asia and even in Australia, dude, you get paid really well in those places.
Yeah.
And like a recommendation from any of those places to like go work anywhere else or whatever is really good because they actually have good reputations in those places over there.
Oh, the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
why do we? Because it's kind of like, for some reason that I'll never quite get, like working there is like always looked down upon. Like here, I mean, working any kind of fast food place, I'm like, where did this mentality come from?
Well, here's the thing too. It's because over here in America back then, working at a fast food place was actually ideal to like pay for a lot of things. That wasn't until the economy took a huge hit and everything skyrocketed in price, and the value of of everything started to go up, and the dollar was just so weak at that point. And nowadays, working at a fast food place, like for $10 or like $8 an hour, isn't enough to get you through the month.
Nope.
I mean, you probably could. That's not really a joke. Because they're saying, so you're saying I can move to Asia, put McDonald's on my resume to apply for a 5-star restaurant? Probably. That's experience.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, that's actually what you. I mean, to be real, not even joking around. You can kind of do that here.
Because it's a reputation thing. That's why you work at a place, is because like, oh yeah, I used to work at Google because I was able to do this, that. You know, it's like if you say you worked at Amazon or big companies like that, it's like yeah. And if you say you worked at Macca's and international places, then yeah, you definitely get recommended, or you like get thought about when they think about the hiring application. So it's the same. It's the same anywhere else. What?
Minimum wage is a funny concept when you think about it. It's like they said that it's the thing, you can't pay anyone below this, and rather than like set off a competition to be all like, not set off a competition, be like, oh, we need more workers. Let's like, be competitive amongst the field. Everyone decided, yeah, we're only going to pay him that. We're going to pay him the exact amount that if we pay them a penny less, it'd be illegal.
Here's the thing, you just got to know your value when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just can't stand people who talk. See, but I find it funny. That person. There's other comments like that too. Actually, that was the vast majority of them. People are like, "Good luck, go get a job at McDonald's or whatever." I'm like, wow. It's like, just tell us how you hate. Apparently, like most of the working industry in like the country or whatever.
Exactly.
Most, a huge chunk. Both of those are huge chunks. Just say how you hate it. You hate them all. Like you look down on their jobs.
And like the bigger issue is like just those people that are just so like they just eat out their own asshole about that kind of stuff. And they just think that like, oh yeah, the world around me is perfect, and you're just in the part of it that sucks. And it's like I'm the better one among you. It's like, yeah, you're just being a total twat about it. Go figure. So
I mean, the only reason why they're telling to go in the fast food place in the restaurant because of their short staff, and that's another thing they hate about that as well. So it's like, so they just figure, oh yeah, you can work this, and then fucking make our fucking food faster for all that instead of just fucking waiting. Because that's what I honestly believe that's like the first thing they do. They tell them is fast food working and all that shit, so we can cater to them.
I remember, I remember back in the day, like when I used to work at a certain nameless retail store. I've named it already, but everyone makes fun of me because I mention it too much. Because I worked there
Party
for
City?
so long. Yeah, because I worked there for so long. But like, every so often I used to love it because like, and I mean this sarcastically, by the way, love it. Every so often, like, the years would go on, and mind you, Party City's making like making decent money. The company was doing well, but the specific store we were at was doing amazingly. The sales were always up, always meeting and exceeding every expectation. But every year our hours would be cut. And like, I'm pretty sure it was the company trying to find the bare minimum to like have the store like be functioning. But my point to bringing it up is that like it's stupid. It's like people were cutting, like, we're trying to get by the bare minimum anyway. So when something shakes it up a little, it's like, oh, well, what do you know? We lost an employee and the whole schedule went to shit. We lost 3 employees and that was our whole staff. It's like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have been like being so fucking like, I don't know. And I always thought cutting corners is a weird concept for any company to do because it's a one-way street. Like, no one ever adds it back. And then all you ever do is you set yourself up for a new competitor to come around and the whole cycle to begin again. Because that new competitor is going to be like, oh, we offer better service because we pay our people more, and then so on. But then as they become more corporate, then they start following the same trends, and the cycle just keeps going around. Capitalism sucks. That's
the biggest thing about it is like, when you don't respect the people that you need to keep, there's a whole thing. It's like, they try to guilt trip you, thinking like, listen, if you leave now, you're gonna leave all of these workers behind that need you. And it's like listen, like, I told you what I needed, and if my time isn't worth this amount that I'm asking for, then there's no point in me coming in and doing this. And if they can't meet you there, then you might as well just find better opportunities elsewhere. That's
an OnlyFans.
That's just how it is. And I think like once people start to realize they're worth more than what companies and other people say they're worth, then I think that's when things will start to change. For sure.
So stupid.
If everybody in Party City that worked at Party City walked out right now, then Party City would change a lot of the ways they, function. I guarantee you, Manuel.
Oh man, I got fired for Party City. I didn't get fired for Party City. It's funny because I make all the. First of all, I was gonna leave there anyway. Like, if anyone knew me, like the last 2 years I was working there, like I was basically hoping they would fire me, because I didn't want to quit, because mainly my own reasons. But like, they eventually didn't fire. They never fired me. They ended up letting me go for the exact reasons I mentioned. They got rid of a lot of like the grandfathered in, like, people working there for a long time to cut costs, because we come in under different payroll rule where we made more. So it's all like, oh yeah, all you guys are too expensive. We're cutting all these people out.
Yep, that's just how it is.
And there was I got laid off with there was literally a list
And,
They emailed everyone.
and here's the thing, they do better with people that, because the turnover rate for Party City shouldn't be, high, because it's not necessarily a career job, I guess you could say. So they imagine like, oh, okay, listen, like, well, we gotta fire these guys, give them a new, value, and lo and behold, we don't have to. We can keep firing them and hiring more people and keep paying them less money, kind of thing.
Funny thing, because like, I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but I'm sure if anyone who's ever worked a fast food job or retail jobs knows those type of people, because like, I used to call them lifers, and I think I always call them lifers even now, and I call them lifers specifically because it's like such a prison-y term, because that's the way I feel to some of these people. Like, not to say like I'm in a bad way, but I just feel like they're trapped there for whatever reasons, their own reasons. But like, when I worked at Subway, one of the last Subways I worked at, I was still pretty young. I was like 20 when I might not even been 20. I think I was 19 when I stopped working at that Subway. And my manager who was there was like in her 40s, and she'd been working at the Subway for like 15 years. That Subway.
Yeah.
And she had, and then she didn't start there in her youth, but she had come from like an El Pollo Loco or something before that. Or something, I think it was El Pollo Loco, but she had like been working like somewhere for 5 years or 10 years, and that Subway for 15 years.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, how do you live? It's like, yeah, I'm just blew my mind. And she wasn't the only one either for any, for that matter. But at Party City, even still now, like, I have a friend who works there, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna retire from there. Like, he's older than me, and he's been working there since he was a teenager.
And see, there's that whole mindset where it doesn't sound like such a bad thing until you realize that, like, oh, she's probably getting paid a shit amount and working all these hours for that shit amount too. So
it is bullshit, and it like I said, people are somewhat trapped. I think he's doing okay because he gets paid pretty decently because grandfathered in until they get rid of him one day, like me. But yeah, like, these people have been there forever. I'm just like, what the hell?
Like, dude, it really is just that the fact that like, people are. What was I gonna say? I totally lost my train of thought. Well, people were
gaining all these viewers. Do people just like to hear us bitch about jobs?
I don't know, probably, but like it's
like steady at 10 for a while. But anyways,
it's super. It just super sucks because, like, the people that that should be working there and making all those hours, they should be making a good amount of money for the time that they've been there and all that, but because businesses in America, they know that, like, the turnover rate is supposed to be high, and they can just fire people and get new people in, even though, like, they'll have problems in the beginning. Like, the more they'll still make, like, more money by hiring someone for less amount and doing mediocre work for it. And the people that complain about it, they don't complain about the companies that hire these people. They complain about the people that work at the places, at the Subway or Party City.
Yeah.
They don't go to the root of of evil for per se. So
goddamn corporate.
That's why, just don't do your taxes and just hide it from the government.
What's sad that I just realized this second, the Subway that lady worked at, the one that I worked at too, and I was first I was a lot younger. They closed it down a few years ago. So
why is that?
Like, they just closed it down. I
bankruptcy?
have no idea.
Or not bankruptcy, like just layoffs and all that.
It was in a bad area. Not bad as in shady. Like, I got robbed outside of there. Fun fact. But I don't mean like that per se. I mean, it was in a bad area as in, like, there was another Subway really close to it, which is the case for a lot of Subways.
Oh, that makes sense.
So, like,
oh, that sucks though.
With just that, but yeah, it just dawned on me, that manager I'm talking about, I wonder what happened to her. She was there. I'm willing. I will eat my hat. I'm positive. I'm willing to put everything on it that she was working there the day it closed down, or somewhere close to it. And
yeah,
like,
and I'm pretty sure they didn't hire her at that other Subway.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure they just, like, thank you for, like, giving us, like, half your life. Good luck with everything.
Yeah, it's like, oh, here's what we can offer you. We can offer you a $50 gift card to Subway,
exactly.
or you can 10% discount per life on Subway sandwiches.
No joke. no joke, by the way. I could talk about this now because apparently I technically was under like not an NDA,
Contracted.
But, like,
Oh
I guess
yeah.
it is an NDA because I signed it and it was like double the time until like I'll tell you, I'll explain it. When they let me go, they gave me a severance package because they let me go in a very specific way, and basically that was based on how many years I'd been there compared to so many paychecks. So like I had so many months of like I was still getting paid even though I was gone. And I was not allowed to say anything about like that situation until double that period passed. But when that period passed, I also could, I mean, during that period, not double, but just during the regular period, I was not allowed to like reapply or whatever to another party city or whatever. I don't know if I would, but what's funny is that when the period was over, I got an email if I wanted to apply for like a part-time position. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, are you dead out? Are you joking with me? And like, you know, but not for my original page. It's gonna like start again. I'm like,
Yeah.
And I would hope that no one else was desperate enough or in a bad enough situation where they had to take them up on that offer, because I'm pretty sure other people got that offer too.
But I'm pretty sure that's how it was supposed to be. The fact that like you got fired and you can reapply, and maybe like the idea of hope that they would get the job in the same amount they got paid back, you know?
Yeah, basically they were just wiping clear my my employment history with them so they could be like, yeah, you're not getting that pay rate anymore. You know, you're coming back at like well, to be fair, I don't think Party City, like they're one of those companies that never pay minimum wage. They give you like 25 cents more so that they could, you know,
25 cents more.
So when you apply to there, they can write competitive wages on the bullet points.
Nonsensical stuff.
All that means is that they're gonna give you a nickel more or whatever more than minimum wage so they can say they're competitive.
Right.
But, to be fair, yeah, I don't think anyone ever got hired for minimum wage, but still. I'll still talk shit about them. But then again, I think that was just our store. For all I know, other party cities like, yeah, you're getting paid like whatever minimum. I don't even know what minimum wage is now. I don't want to know because I'm sure it's depressing.
It is.
Yeah, I don't even want to know what it is. Like, reapply and sign another NDA. No, I hate it. So there actually was a bunch of times we had like they made it, especially me. They made me sign a bunch of bullshit like that. I was like, no, I'm gonna talk shit about Party City forever now. But now I'm not. That thing was only for 6 months. I still have a copy of it too because I read it. I'm like, what does this mean? And even then, because like I was shocked that they gave me a contract on my last day. Oh, no joke. The last day I worked, it was me and another manager person that they were firing for the same reason. And they put us both to open on our own together. Like, because mind you, like we open a couple hours before we open. Well, when we start that again, we start working a couple hours before we open, and then when we open, other employees show up, and then you know the day starts. But they put us there for like 2 hours on our own before opening, and there was a list of things to do, and I'm like, and we both looked at each other like, what the fuck are they gonna do? Fire us? We didn't do shit. We didn't do shit. We just sat around and we're like reading the paperwork they gave us that they were giving us on that final day. We literally just sat around. And that's the reason I brought it up, because I was reading the contract and I was all like,
that's funny.
We were signing this, and that's when I read the thing how we couldn't talk shit. But I was like, yeah, it's like, fuck this shit.
It's like, yeah, you guys are getting fired, and like it was so funny when you said that they asked you to come work for Party City in part-time. I was like, man, these guys.
And like I was like, you gotta be fucking, and then no more power to him, but like that friend I mentioned who still works that even asked me if I was going to, as if like he thought I'm like, no. It's like, I'm not going to.
Yeah, dude, it's so funny. Oh god.
There have been times I've been joking about going back for Halloween to work, and Halloween's different.
Dude, Spirit of Halloween. Let's go.
Oh yeah, but you're literally a temp, and because you're a temp, they are allowed to be more competitive with the wages, like legit. So like they can pay me nicely close or even to what my wage was. And then I can only work then I can even be like, yeah, I can only work Saturdays. I only work like 1 8-hour shift a week.
Yeah, seasonal jobs pay out more for sure.
Yeah, but I've never done it just because like whenever October rolls around, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to work at Party City.
Yeah, because seasonal, because
OnlyFans.
Because like if you work at like Macy's or things like that during like the season of, you know, like Christmas or whatever, you know it's gonna be busy. You know you're gonna be like in for it. and you're pretty much going to put in like the same amount of time you would put in for a year to make that same amount of money, but like at a faster pace. So
Yeah.
unless you're down for it.
IDC says last day equals free stuff to take home. I don't know about that. Joke, they didn't do it to me because they didn't do it to us. I should say, because me and the other girl at that same day, they didn't do it to us. But technically, there is a process when it's anyone's last day. Like we had to do it to their employees, where you actually are supposed to check their bags when they're leaving, like to make sure that they didn't like take a little gift home on their last day. But they didn't do it to us, mainly because I was like, I didn't do it for starters. Like I actually didn't steal anything, God forbid. Like I should have. Now I think about it because they didn't check us, but I didn't steal anything. I really didn't.
And then mention it 5 years later where they can't hunt you down.
But no, I really didn't steal anything. But I remember thinking as I was leaving, I'm like, the friend of mine walked towards me. I'm like, you better not have to check my bag. It's like, you better not even think about asking that. like you better just be saying bye or something. You should have
just straight up just said, I gotta check your bag. I can't let you leave here. I'm actually Party City Police Force.
But yeah, he did it. He's like, no, it's fine. I trust you. I'm like, yeah. I'm walking out with like, it's all bulging.
it's like, yeah, your bag came in here that same bulge it came out. It's like, you gotta tell him like, oh man, yeah, you don't ask what's in a man's bulge. You can't just do that.
Oh, my ears.
Sir, what's in your pocket? What's in that bulge?
It's like, hey, dinner.
Hey, you don't want to. You never.
Dinner in a movie first, pal.
What's that rattling sound come from your bulge, sir?
Oh my god, that's
yeah,
terrible.
so my ex-girlfriend used to work at Macy's, and like there was like a security point whenever you had to enter it one specific way, and there was a security point that you had to go through, and it was like in the back, and I was like, oh man, so you really can't like clip off like clothes or whatever like that, but like you can. Technically, if you did work at like Macy's or whatever, you could, because like they have like the one guy that kind of like shifts through your bag, like, oh, it looks okay, kind of thing. you have like the little tool to remove the color thing or the security tag, at your disposal. So anytime you could just done it, and then just like whoops, there we go. Oh, it's like it's at the bottom. It's underneath my hydro flask. Oh, weird. Yeah, I did come in with that scarf, shirt, pants, and overalls. It's just, yeah. It's like, all right, you're good. You can leave.
There was that's terrible. Fuck. What was I gonna say? Shit.
Yeah.
I had a funny.
Big brain.
I hate. Don't you hate when that happened? That a story tipped my tongue and now it's gone now.
Oh, okay. So
procedure. Go ahead.
How about this? While you're thinking about it, I got another one. Oh yeah, and something that's security. Yeah, escort procedure. Yeah, exactly. They they don't care. They're just like, oh, listen, this is just part of my job. You got something in your bag, don't worry about it. just go.
It was policy if you were like, this is what I'm gonna say, but this popped in my head. It was Party City's policy, by the way, if you were like shop. It's a fair policy. I had to say for a lot of safety reasons. But I will say this: it was frustrating a lot of times. Like you weren't allowed to like basically like confront a shoplifter.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Every so often, like overzealous employees would, but that wasn't policy. At best, and I mean at best, you could just like customer service the fuck out of them, just so like they stop or they leave.
Yeah, exactly.
But basically, technically, if you wanted to shoplift the Party City, there was no one to stop you. Like literally,
you could literally walk out with that like stuff. Like seriously,
and we were not allowed. Well, people still did it. Don't get me wrong; it might still happen, I guess. But you weren't supposed to. But we weren't allowed to like chase after them or anything like that either.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You know who would get in trouble? The employees, not the person that stole.
It'd be all like, why'd you let them steal? Why weren't you customer servicing them? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't want to get shot or stabbed if they had a weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care that much about this store. Maybe pay me more.
I would. Dude, you know what? At the little place I used to work at, I would give out like drinks to my friends, and like I would give out free drinks galore. Like if people were nice to me, I'd be like, you know what? You can have this free taro smoothie. Like I was like, whatever. Don't worry about it. You've been cool with me. I've been cool with you. Let bygones be bygones. And then I had my friend, one of my best friends, who I met actually giving boba drinks and stuff, like every time he'd come in, I'd always give him like a free milk, like tiger milk tea, which is black tea and Thai tea put together, like one of the most expensive things we have there. And I'm just like, you want another one? It's like, yeah, sure. And so I make him another one before he leaves. And like he told me that like he's getting drinks for him and his friends and family. So I was like, all right, I'll make you like 10 of these. Don't worry. I can just give it to him and he'd dip.
I won't say who it is, but there was a certain friend of mine who used to work at an 85 degree or 85 degree, what the fuck do you call that place?
85, yeah, 85C.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what they call it. Anyways, it's a Taiwanese thing. They nickname it something different there.
The bakery, the bakery place.
Yeah. I used to have a friend of mine used to work there, and she would always ring up drinks as hot water, or she would get her friends to ring up drinks as hot water.
Right.
And it was just so funny. We show up, it's like, yes, 2 hot waters, please, but can you make mine a brown sugar milk tea? No, whatever the fuck. Add some brown sugar milk tea with some boba in it. You know?
It's like, oh, that's a interesting hot water you got there. Yeah, extra stuff in it.
But yeah, it was always like that. And I think we would just. I mean, I won't say who it is. But definitely, I think it might still within statute of limitations.
Yeah,
and then we would just take whatever like pastries we'd want to, because I think that they would just say like, oh, by the end of the day we only had one left, and then we had none left, we threw them all away because they were stale, and
right.
It's like that was one of the stale ones, quote unquote.
It's like, they can't do anything about it. I'm out. Peace.
Oh man, it's the stealing at stores is fun. I'm just kidding. Just shut up.
I used to work at an AutoZone, and like, there are a lot of expensive car parts and stuff there, right? Things that you'll need. I didn't take anything per se.
No,
but
have you heard that Johnny Cash song, One Piece at a Time? You're him. You were like stealing, you're trying to build a car. Like stealing it one piece at a time, take it home, and then like you have a whole car when you retire.
Well, no, it's no. So, I mean, like, well, one of my managers there, used to work there. He actually got fired because like, they caught him stealing stuff. And it was funny because like no one had really gotten caught for stealing anything until him. And so like there was like thousands and thousands of dollars of parts that were like not there at AutoZone, or like that had been stolen over years and they didn't know where it was. So they pinned it all on him because for like all the stuff that was like stolen.
That's sad.
Yeah, and I was like, yo, that sucks. He got fired. I don't know what else happened, but supposedly he's working at like a auto mechanic shop, so maybe he didn't get fined for any of it.
Well, like I said before, like it's happened a couple times. There was only one time that it happened at my store that I was there for. I think only one time, but it's happened several times at even my store, and it happened several times at other stores. But like people were caught stealing, even if it would have to be kind of a decent amount. Like if you were caught stealing once, they probably just fire you. But there would be people who would still like, oh, they did a bunch of shady returns. They stole like hundreds of dollars. There was this one dude, the one I was there for. He had been like, who knows how much he stole. But when they finally caught it, and they went back in like to see how much they could like, make sure like was shady. He had stole like thousands of dollars like doing shady returns.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and we had this whole situation where like cops were notified. They actually had a time to show up. I'm like, how do you work this out with the cops? You have an appointment, but and then like just we scheduled him to work, and it's like the whole week is like act normal, and pretty much not even just the whole week, because like we knew it for weeks in advance, but the whole week is like act normal. He's probably still stealing those right up until the end.
Yeah, I mean, like what are they gonna do? Go to your house? They don't have like a permit like for something like that.
I remember though when they arrested him and everything like that. He texted me a couple days later. He's like, I really need money, and he sold me a bass of his that was like he had just bought, was really expensive. But it was stolen Party City money.
A what? A bass?
A bass, as in a bass guitar, an electric bass guitar.
Jeez.
And he had just bought one because he wanted to learn how to play bass. It was like a $700 bass, and
probably with the money that he.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. But I gave him $100 for it. I feel kind of bad that I lowballed him. So, well, to be fair, I don't think I had enough to even like not lowball him, but because he's the only person that he knew that can get money. He was arrested, and it was this whole situation.
He probably got fined for it. Then he probably got like.
Yeah, there was a arrest. obviously don't tell us how the rest of that goes, like at the store level, because at that point it's a corporate and a legal thing.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
like, yeah, like they arrested him for these things. It's like, yeah, you're charged with like all these. And I was there when they read the charges. I'm like, ooh. So that was awkward. It's like the last time I saw him was they were reading the charges there. He's crying in the office and everything like that. He's being led away in handcuffs. And then
Oh,
next day,
jeez.
like not the next day, but like literally like 2 days later, he's all like, hey Manny, you want to buy my pay?
Jeez,
I even
that's
laughed then. I'm like, oh man, this is awkward. He's like, yeah, man, I need the money though. And he brought it to my house too. And we did not live close to each other. I think about that all the time. It's like that probably wasn't worth it to him. He made like $50 on that deal.
dude.
Sure.
He probably dude. That was $20 in gas just to get to your place,
Yeah,
and
that's
just
what I'm saying. Like I'm pretty sure like he made so much like nothing on that. He must be really desperate. Oops.
dang,
My bad.
That really sucks. I you know, I mean, like, granted, like he did get fired because he stole a bunch of stuff, but you think they give him enough time to like try and find a job so he could pay off whatever, you know? But lo and behold.
But yeah, there was other times, like I said, people have like some dude at some other store, like during Easter weekend, because it was like one of those long weekends where banks were closed, so he had like a huge deposit. He got robbed, quote unquote.
Oh, did he? Did he really?
Yes, and it was such a shady story. Even when we all heard it, because it was big news. Like at first, it was like everyone be careful. Like manager at this store got robbed, taking the deposit to the bank, and everyone's like, how did they know to rob him? It's like what a lucky thief to know to rob the person carrying like a few $1,000s in cash or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
no kidding.
And so like they apparently it was so simple. They checked with the bank, and the bank's like, oh yeah, like, you know, you call the police, but you can check the security cameras outside. And they checked the cameras. I'm like, why did you even go? I guess he was trying to check his story, but he like they saw the camera footage. He went to the bank, sat in the car, then called the police saying he got robbed. And I'm like, the police didn't check the car because I guess he kept the money somewhere nearby. But yeah. And oh yeah, I should say that was the whole issue, because like it became a police issue because obviously he had to call the police and got robbed. And
and the story didn't check out so well.
Yeah, and I'm like, and he got in mad trouble. Like that wasn't like Party City. That was Party City coming after the money, and he got the police involved in a fake police report and all this other bullshit. You know.
Yeah. No.
He had them looking for a fake thief and everything. So yeah, homeboy went to jail, I think, for a while for that. Ooh, I don't know if I should be laughing at that, but anyways, aren't these funny stories about OnlyFans guys?
Wow, these OnlyFans stories really getting off the chain over here.
I know.
So lewd with these OnlyFans. Lewd, I say.
Yeah.
I wonder if my manager made an OnlyFans. Like, I mean, she would be quite a bit older now, but like, I'd ages. Like,
listen,
more power to her. She's selling her feet pics today.
If they didn't show their faces, like you could get away with like a lot of stuff.
She's smart if she's selling her feet. And for the record, if you're a fan of feet pics on OnlyFans, apparently those are going to be there forever, so you're still peachy.
Yeah, you're fine.
OnlyFans criminals. I love these OnlyFans stories. Yeah.
Check out Jeeves KCS on OnlyFans.com for feet pics.
Story that you gave all the money to an organ grinder so he could bring his monkey's partner to the U.S. so he would do his happy dance, and he promised me. What are you talking about?
What the heck?
Is this Manuel's story? Is that what's going on
I don't
here?
know about that story about a monkey. I remember one time we went to go. This actually is really a funny story. That's kind of a sad story. But we went to go see these. There used to be this bonobo. What the fuck is it called? And this is kind of related to, not to OnlyFans, but kind of to the topic. If you don't know, bonobos are like these monkeys that are like, or actually they think they're apes, but there is a difference, by the way, guys. But I think they're apes that are like very close to humans. Everyone's all like, oh, that these are the primates that we would probably are most closely linked to today that are still amongst us. And one of the things they're known for is that they fuck all the time, and they're just always fucking, and there's even like same-sex fucking and everything like that. So it's like very wild shit. And we were studying them in anthro, like, you know, whatever the anthro class is that, like, you know, studies evolution or whatever. And our professor at the time knew somebody who ran a thing what do you call those? A sanctuary. That's what I'm looking for. And we went to go see them, and I remember I was just like, we've been watching these documentaries on like these monkeys just fucking like nonstop, and we go, it's like this fucking encampment in the middle of like the desert, like somewhere between here and like Fresno, the middle of nowhere, like, you know, and it's these monkeys just like in the hills, like, you know, in these tiny little cages. And whenever I watch documentaries on like because you see a lot of them thanks to Tiger King, like a lot of like documentaries about people who keep like, you know, animals that should be kept in captivity. They talk about that fucking ranch that they closed down, the fucking like, you know, sanctuary of the bonobos, and I'm like, that's the place they took us to for our assignment, and we had to fucking like study the bonobos that look so sad and depressed, and I'm just like, I want these bonobos to be happy and fucking.
Yeah.
Like, why aren't the bonobos fucking?
That sucks.
No joke. I was just out of high school, so it was like I was like really young at this. Like it was my first semester class. I don't think it was even 18 yet, and like that's how young I was. That I was just like taking my first my first college class, my first college assignment to go to this fucking place, and went there with some friends. I don't think I drove at the time, and we went all the way up there. And we're just like, why aren't the bonobos fucking? Like I was promised fucking. I was promised to like hardcore monkey sex.
Did you say that out loud, Manuel, or were you too worried
really
that? Oh, did you?
I really did. Yeah, I don't know if I made that clear. Like I was trying to make a point that I was young and saying stupid shit because I was like, you know, a stupid teenager. But I was literally saying that. Like,
Can you imagine that Manuel's nickname would have been the monkey fucking guy? Just throughout the rest of high school.
What? It was college technically, but still, I don't think I would say that in high school for that very reason, because they would like probably follow me.
Manuel's
college, I'm like, I don't know these kids.
Manuel's like wondering, like, why doesn't anybody talk to me anymore? It's like after the monkey field trip.
Season 7, episode 5, light up my what? That's an episode of Boy Meets World, but the monkey the organ grinder, the monkey grinder. Oh, that's terrible. Don't say that. Isn't there a scene in like? Am I making the scene up? Isn't there a scene in Temple of Doom, the Indiana Jones movie, where they eat a monkey?
No, they eat the monkey's brain. That's an appetizer.
Yeah, don't they do that in Indiana Jones though? Like in that movie?
Yes, they do. Yeah.
They eat the monkey's brains. Ew, don't do that. Don't eat the monkey's brains. First of all,
brains are a commodity in a lot of places. Don't you know?
I don't want to eat a monkey's brain though. I'll eat cow brain.
I mean, you can't really think, so you might as well eat a monkey's brain to fill it. Brains. This is turning to Return of the Living Dead.
It's by the way, it's already been 2 hours. We get through this.
Yeah.
I've been waiting to finish the drawing, by the way.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, is it done?
Yeah, I guess it is. It's just don't worry about the hands. Don't worry about.
We'll finish the hands on our own time, but we're wrapping up. Actually, I didn't realize what time. Oh shit! It's been more. I have things to do, guys.
Yeah, it's been more than. Wait! I need this girl to say something else. Well, what should she say? What should she
She should talk. She should also say so raise the minimum wage.
Raise the minimum wage.
Well, even though it wasn't supposed to be, half of the show turned into like
very political, very
yeah. So this is a fun OnlyFans story, but let's wrap this up. Sorry, I didn't mean. I actually have shit to do, and I gotta get drunk soon. Yeah, guys. That's been a FAP. I promise we'll be coming back. I think I mentioned earlier. I've been low key very stressed. I've been very busy. And believe it or not, those two are not synonymous. Like I've been like stressed and busy because they're like, I'm not stressed because I'm busy. Usually I can handle one or the other. But so it's been one. I'm low key a little glad that FAP's gonna go on a minor break. We'll be back in October with the spoops, and hopefully by then something will fix into both of my situations. It'll have to because it'll be far enough along. But yeah, tomorrow we're doing DTL. With myself, Molly, Warren, and Pleiades. It'll be our first DTL without Callie. Well, not first one without Callie, but the first one since Callie officially left. And I think it'll be the last one in the current format. We've had some format ideas, and we might even like rebrand a little, just to be fun and different. And it's about that time to change up anyway. And then Tuesdays UPZ again. It'll be myself and Yar. I think it'll be just us two. I want to talk about overrated anime, and we'll go over our fast food tier list. By the way, JD, just heads up, that's the topic, overrated anime. I think it's the first time he's hearing it, even though he's the mod for that. Then Wednesday will be the final episode of Wild Arms, and then next Friday's Deep Drink Talk Roll, and that's our schedule until for the week in advance. And Weston, you're not on any of those.
Wow, way to like chuck them out like that, huh?
I mean, they've been yeeted out, so I can care less.
He's involved with DTL, but he hasn't been on in a while. Not really.
Because I've never been invited.
Yeah, not really for any reason. Well, now that Kelly's gone, there's a lot more space, especially when we have the new format where like not everyone presents. It'll be a lot easier to have more people on just for the fun parts. Because I feel weird having people on when I feel like not everyone has time to present. So yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about all this later. And Jordan, what's new with you? Like KCS, Jeeves?
Oh, I'm making animation for the Hololive English anniversary that's coming up in September.
Nice.
So it's gonna be real special for that. So it's gonna take a lot of time. That's why I'm not gonna be around. But I'm also been starting to do commissions and stuff like art commissions. So that's why that's gonna be eating up most of my time too. And as you can see, I think my art has improved ever since
You draw some good titties.
Yeah, right. I've gotten better at that.
I forgot what your pictures you drew recently, but I saw them on Twitter and I was like, damn.
Yeah, right. That one got a lot of traction because on Reddit I got like about 8,000 like likes or something for it.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, Twitter is different. I need to get better at like getting people involved, but I have like 1,600 followers now on Twitter, so that's exciting.
I mean, look at those bunny girls titties. Like I would fucking. I would save the picture for later. Just
the squish, right? You know how it just kind of squishes in, and yeah. So I've definitely gotten better. So that's why I'm starting to do commissions now. So
I don't know if you have a thing. Let me see. No, you don't.
What, a thing? What do you mean?
A command.
I don't.
No, ignore those.
Oh, you're talking about the social media commands?
Yeah, with the link. I don't know why we haven't. To be fair, like FAP has always been flying by the cuff, and it'll give me time to make when we come back in October for episode 13, Unlucky 13.
Oh yeah, October. That's a perfect. Yeah.
There you go.
Even better.
Yeah, I'll figure out the Friday, but there you go. Yeah, and tomorrow. There you go. Wrap it up. Thank you all for watching. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and yes, if you like tell us which titties you like the best in this picture, and if you like all of them, just do all the three I just mentioned: like, comment, and subscribe. That was not a plug to just like, comment, and subscribe, but thank you.
Peace all right, out. Manuel, our sponsor, our Patreon people.
Oh yes. Thank you to shout out to our patrons. You can follow us at patreon.com/ADJConnections if you want to support us. But shout out specifically to Ed, Kenneth, and Joshua, our current patrons. Thank you so much for everything you provide. And I'm not even joking. Like, I low-key have been like saving all the patron money until like now without any payouts because I want to use it all to literally pay for the site. So like. So when I say like you literally are keeping ADJ running, I'm not even exaggerating one little bit.
Like, yeah.
Hey, so thank you guys out there for supporting ADJ Connections.
Yes. So yes. Anyways, just watch if you can't do any of that, but yeah, support us any way you can. Peace out. Thank you so much. Thank you, Weston, for joining. Very last minute. I asked him 2 hours before we went live, by the way.
No, that's cool. I'm down for it, man.
Support everyone on OnlyFans and all the good stuff. Peace out. Good night. Love you all.
Good night.
Night.